It is good to be with you on another episode of Service to Humanity, a sponsored program of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. The Africa Day for School Feeding was first marked in 2016 as a continental commemoration and rallying point to showcase the importance of school feeding, the experiences, achievements, issues, challenges and recommendations by African countries. It also serves as an avenue to reinforce and strengthen political will for school feeding on the continent. On the 1st of March 2022, the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development marked the 7th Africa Day for School Feeding. And that is our focus on this episode as we bring you sights and sounds from the two-day event. I am Habiba Zakzak, your anchor. Please stay tuned.
The program is key to helping young Nigerians acquire and develop.
The federal government of Nigeria remains committed to including and protecting persons with disabilities to guarantee that no one is left behind.
I see that we are going through challenging times, and I see this woman running all about the country trying to help our people, because this lady is doing a very good job for our country.
Thank you. Thank you for all what you have been doing for us.
The program starts with the Management Diary, where we bring you news and current happenings in the ministry and her agencies. In the news, federal government set to roll out a 4-year national action plan on human trafficking in Nigeria. And Humanitarian Minister receives Dususu Gender Minister Award. Don't go away.
Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, has been conferred with the 2021 Dususu Gender Minister Award. Dususu, which is an acronym for Dream Up, Speak Up, Stand Up, is a program focusing on the education and development of the girl child. It was first launched in March 2013 in Lagos, Nigeria, at the Pan-Atlantic University and in other schools in partnership with the U.S. Consulate in Lagos. The minister, who was presented with the award at a ceremony at Sheraton Hotel, Abuja on the 1st of March 2022, thanks the conveners, Dususu Foundation, for considering her for the prestigious award designed for gender ministers and promised to continue uplifting women to be change makers in the society. The minister, who expressed surprise at the Gender Minister Award, noted that the Humanitarian Ministry under her purview has made a conscious effort to mainstream gender considerations and ensure that women are enabled to be change makers in their immediate communities and beyond. While thanking the Dususu Foundation, the minister praised the foundation for its abiding commitment in bringing key issues to the fore and for its resilience in bringing change to fruition.
In order for desired change to occur, it is important for us in our various roles to dream up, speak up, and to stand up. As the acronym of the organization says, and with your full and your untiring advocacy efforts that have seen you traverse the globe, you have certainly done justice. What is so remarkable about your impressive journey beyond your young age with your technical strategy on board?
Earlier, there were goodwill messages from guests, head of agencies under the Humanitarian Ministry, as well as staff and friends of the minister.
It goes without saying that HN is a person who is passionate about her work. She's passionate about women's empowerment. And let me not say just women's empowerment. She's passionate about people's empowerment, because we talk about women, we talk about men, boys, girls, people living with disability. And of course, you can see that she's surrounded herself with women.
She's been able to act. If you have understood or studied history, she's been able to befit herself to the class of leadership like Queen Isabella I of Castile.
You inspire us daily. You are a force. you show us that it's possible to be young, to be a woman, to be from the north, to be a mother, and still to be a leader.
CEO and co-founder of Dususu Foundation, Zuriel Oduwale, noted that the minister earned the award following her humanitarian role in Nigeria and contributions to the development of women, girls, and children.
For her excellent work in the areas of girls and women empowerment in Nigeria, and also gender development as well within her humanitarian ministry. So she's done amazing work so far, especially with regards to relocation of displaced persons, and her work has been exceptional, has been phenomenal. With regards to the exact parameters and criteria we used, we can't share that, of course, because it is an award, but yeah, she's done amazing work.
A roadmap for the National Action Plan on Human Trafficking in Nigeria 2022 to 2026 is to be unveiled by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. The National Action Plan, which was approved at the last Federal Executive Council, will coordinate stakeholders' efforts for greater effectiveness and efficiency in the fight against human trafficking in Nigeria. The Minister, Sadia Umar Farouk, who made the presentation at the FEC meeting on the 23rd February 2022, stated that the National Action Plan on Human Trafficking in Nigeria 2022 to 2026 is a roadmap for ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, state task forces against human trafficking, civil society organizations, international donor organizations, as well as the media in the fight against human trafficking in Nigeria. Sadia Umar Farouk further stated that it will serve as a national policy document in combating human trafficking in Nigeria and the blueprint for all anti-human trafficking interventions, as it ensures efficiency and greater synergy in the utilization of intervention funds from the international community and domestic donors. The national policy document is expected to set yearly benchmarks to measure stakeholders' implementation of projects and provide a basis for evaluation of the level and success of implemented activities. It will also provide strong coordination, implementation and evaluation mechanisms which cover protection, prevention, prosecution, law enforcement and access to justice, partnership coordination and digitization, research, data and statistics, monitoring and evaluation.
You are still watching Service to Humanity. The Africa Day for School Feeding is an annual high-level convening moment led by the African Union to renew and scale up commitments of African countries to deliver homegrown school feeding programs to advance human capital development and achieve the SDGs. In commemoration of the 7th Africa Day for School Feeding, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development organized a two-day event. Let's take details of the event in our next story. Keep watching.
The African Day for School Feeding is an annual event organized by the African Union, which is co-convened with World Food Programme WFP and the support of other partners including Global Partnership for Education GPE, Islamic Development Bank IDB and the Education Commission. The theme of the 7th African Day for School Feeding is Nutrition and Human Capital Development in Africa through increased investment in homegrown school feeding. The event was aimed at encouraging ambitious and bold actions to strengthen and scale up homegrown school feeding programs across the continent, with the aim to celebrate African commitment and leadership in the Global School Meals Coalition, showcase ambitious commitments from governments and share experiences from leading countries, present and launch the Continental Auda NEPAD Homegrown School Feeding Guidelines, identify ways to reinforce collaboration between key partners, share lessons learned and school feeding best practices. Those in attendance at the event included Princess Gloria Okopuntu, National Coordinator and CEO of NEPAD Nigeria, Ms. Kethuwe Maulosi, AUDA NEPAD's nutrition specialist. The Nasarawa State Governor, ably represented by Imran Usman Jibrin, Dr. Umar Bindir, National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Program NSIP, amongst others.
It is a great pleasure for me to be here today.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development of Nigeria, Honorable Sadia Umar Farouk, who officiated the national-level event in her keynote address, recognized the timeliness and key roles to be played by the continental AUDA NEPAD guidelines for the design and implementation of homegrown school feeding that was launched earlier in the day by Dr. Ibrahim Meyaki, CEO of AUDA NEPAD.
I wish to also use this opportunity to commend AUDA NEPAD for the development and successful launch of the AUDA NEPAD guidelines for designing and implementing school feeding program in Africa. The guidelines accurately outline good practices that are socio-culturally relevant with a corresponding substantial value addition for the program.
The minister stated that globally, school feeding programs are recognized as an essential part of social safety net, deployed to address both malnutrition and poverty among low-income households.
Additionally, the program is also conceived as a multi-sectoral intervention with substantial gains expected in educational, health, and socio-economic outcomes.
The minister further mentioned objectives of the school feeding program in Nigeria, giving statistics to show progress made so far.
The following core objectives, one of which is increase in school enrollment, participation and completion, improvement in nutritional status of beneficiaries, stimulation of the local economy through the school feeding value chain, with over 127,000 cooks engaged, along with 100 aggregators, mopping up protein items, and thousands of other service providers along the school feeding value chain effectively participating in the production, processing, preparation, and delivery of these free meals to the targeted beneficiaries. Currently, the total number of children enrolled on the program stands at 9,881,773 million in over 53,000 schools, of which 4.1 million pupils have so far been verified and captured on the school feeding database, in line with the ministry's ongoing efforts at establishing a verifiable database of beneficiaries across all of its programs and interventions.
Earlier speaking, Princess Gloria Okobuntu, National Coordinator and CEO of NEPAD Nigeria, informed participants at the commemoration that Nigeria has done well in humanitarian social investment.
If we take the statistics of where we're coming from and where we are today and shaping the future, like even the country self-assessment report and the final review report of Nigeria stated it, that Nigeria has done beautifully well in terms of humanitarian services. In fact, it was one of our kudos in the recent published African Peer Review Mechanism report.
Akobuntu reiterated continued support from NEPAD Nigeria as well as AUDA NEPAD to the ministry in rendering humanitarian services in Nigeria.
I believe that stronger collaboration and teamwork will give us much more better results. So I want to thank the Honorable Minister, my dear sister, who is very passionate about this. I want to also say that NEPAD Nigeria, with NEPAD Continental, and our member states has been resolved to work together as a team, as Africans, to enhance this particular project so that African children will actually be the leaders we want to see tomorrow.
Auda NEPAD's nutrition specialist, Ms. Kefilwe Maulosi, highlighted the fact that there are 5 school feeding quality standards that form the organizational structure of the guidelines, namely policy and legal framework, financial capacity and stable funding, institutional capacity for implementation and coordination, design and implementation, and community participation. The guidelines feature the essential elements within each standard that should be taken into consideration when planning and operationalizing homegrown school feeding programs.
Now we know that 2/3 of Africa's population is in rural areas. We want to ensure that the women that are in rural communities also benefit from school feeding. For example, in Nigeria, I know that women are cooks. That is also empowerment for our women. They provide the food to our children. That itself is women empowerment that we want to promote. Like the minister mentioned, it requires multi-sectoral approach. We need to work with the partners that are here present. We need to strengthen our collaborative to really fight hunger and malnutrition in Africa. Now, we believe that with this launch of the guidelines, this will actually improve or amplify what is already happening on the ground. And I'm honored to see the big table, the high-level table. We have different honorables from different ministries. We want to push for key sectors that we should work together and promote nutrition. Nutrition is cross-cutting by nature, and school feeding is one example that shows us how it should be done on the ground.
National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Program, Dr. Umar Binder, also speaks on the significance of the event to Nigeria.
The event here is literally honoring Nigeria and recognizing the effectiveness of the National Homegrown School Feeding Program in this country, recognizing Mr. President's effort to ensure that his well-focused and strategized poverty eradication is on track, and also by the presence of the NEPAD team from the whole continent, many of the non-governmental organizations supporting this event, so many stakeholders here. It's a demonstration that we are on the right track and we're doing the right things. Currently, with a feeding rate of nearly 10 million children being fed, and with the current approval of Mr. President to add another 5 million on top of that, this is the most ambitious program of such in this continent.
The second day of the event featured awareness road walk along Alex Ikweme Road, Jabi, Abuja, to LEA Primary School, Jabi, Abuja, where a celebration of the 7th Africa Day for School Feeding was marked with the pupils of the school. Speaking at the school, Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Ajia Sadia Umar Farouk, was represented by Alhaji Musa Bungudu, Special Advisor to the President on Humanitarian Affairs, lauded President Muhammadu Buhari for sustaining the program over the years.
I can say clearly that more than 9.8 million children have been enrolled across the country, benefiting from the school feeding program. And this is just the beginning of the beginning. This concerted effort, this achievement, were actually derived from the commitment of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that he wants to lift at least 100 million people out of poverty.
There was an anniversary cake, just as pupils of the school received gifts in commemoration of the day.
3, 2, 1. Very good. Thank you.
Across the 6 geopolitical zones.
Use this money for what it is meant for, efficiently to take care of their family. in 36 states and the FCT. Over 6.4 million of Nigerians poorest of the poor in about 1.3 million households receive conditional cash transfers of 5,000 naira monthly under the Household Upliftment Program of the federal government. Their joy knows no bounds.
The government is very well because they do well for us.
It's helped me to do any other thing, my family.
Reducing absolute poverty, promoting shared prosperity through the Conditional Cash Transfer Initiative. The Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development in service to humanity.
You are watching Service to Humanity, bringing you activities from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development as it carries out its mandates. As we already know, the objectives of the National Homegrown School Feeding Program includes giving nutritious meals to pupils in order to increase enrollment and quality learning outcome. It is also to empower cooks and aggregators economically. To further celebrate the 7th Africa Day for School Feeding, we bring you some testimonies of how the objectives of the Homegrown School Feeding Program have been met from the mouths of pupils, teachers, food vendors, and aggregators. Let's hear from them.
Target beneficiaries of the National Homegrown School Feeding Program have continued to thank and praise the federal government for the benefits they have gained under the program. Let us hear from some aggregators of the program.
My business have really increased more than before because school feeding program pays me cash as you go. I started with just 8,000 beds when the program started. In 2018, my farm progressed to 12,000 beds. In 2019, I'll move up to 20,000 beds. In 2021, early 2021, because of the pandemic we faced, there's no school feeding program. The market was low, so I have to decongest some of my birds. But now as the school feeding program commences, you can see I've brought in new birds and my farm is moving up. We are targeting 30,000 birds. I will commend the government of Baba Buhari for this wonderful initiative that he brings on board. And I think if I say thank you is not enough, thank you is not enough, I will say God bless you, sir.
I'm a member of Lagos State Perishable Farm Produce Traders Association. Where we are here right now is my 12th market, one of the markets under that association. And the section where we are is where we have the beans. We are one of the suppliers of the beans to the Lagos State School Homegrown Feeding Program. I want to appeal to the federal government to make sure that they sustain it, because this will really assist lots of people, particularly the association, the suppliers, the vendors, and what have you. It's a very good program, and we want to encourage and want to suggest that the program should continue.
Some of the vendors under the program also had this to say.
Sincerely speaking, I'm grateful for this program because it has really helped so many people. Not only me and other vendors, but also the pupils, because as soon as the pupils see the food, their attention is shifted to the food, even when classes are still on. Some of the pupils don't usually eat breakfast before coming to school. The joy on their faces is always obvious.
I'm a food vendor here at Correctional Primary School, Olokuta, here in Ondo State. I do give the children meat from Monday to Friday. On Monday, I gave them beans together with maize. Tuesday, rice with beans. Wednesday, jollof rice. Thursday, yam with stew. Friday, rice together with beans. And the children really benefited from the food. They really enjoyed the food. It helps them to cooperate to understand what they are teaching them in the classroom. And I want to use this medium to thank the minister and our president for this great opportunity that has been given unto me to benefit from this program. Thanks.
Teachers and pupils were not left out.
I will first of all give kudos to the federal government for the good job they are doing. The school feeding program has a positive impact in the life of the children, because most of them, when they come to school, they come without anything in their stomach. But with this school feeding program, and it enabled them to be able to, face their studies properly. Yes, with this issue of feeding, it attracts children that are outside, that I think don't have interest in school. In fact, it boosts them or make them to come to school so that they will also have share and study.
The food provided for them by the government is very nourishing to their system. Very nourishing to their system. It provides them energy, and the food tends to provide them enough balanced diet for these kids. Because when they eat this food, you see them during the lunchtime, they are excited during the lunchtime. At the lunchtime, they go out for their break, they play, you see them with so much energy. And when they come back after the break, they still have that energy with them, with which they come back to learn to the end of the class activities, which is about 1:35 p.m. in the afternoon.
I eat jollof rice and meat with carrots. I enjoy the food. I enjoy the food today. I eat rice, meat, carrots. I appreciate government food.
And that's our package on this episode of Service to Humanity. Congratulations to the Honorable Minister Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk on receiving the Dususu Gender Minister Award. We say more power to your elbow. Until next week when I come your way again, enjoy the rest of your day.